Let's go to our man in Japan, Eoin Sheahan. Good morning to you. The Ireland team has been named.
Good morning, lads. How are things? It has indeed. The big news this morning that Jack Carty is going to start his first ever World Cup game. He's in. He gets a nod ahead of Joey Carberry, who was on the bench. Jonathan Sexton not in the squad at all. There were 4 changes in all throughout the squad. We'll get to that in just a moment, but let's hear what Joe Schmidt had to say about the man himself, Jack Carty.
Yeah, he's very calm. He doesn't get ruffled easily. He doesn't get distracted by an error that he might make, or distracted by people trying to put pressure on him. He stays in the zone incredibly well. So for us with Jack, there's a lot of confidence, not just from the coaching staff, from the players as well. And so the spectrum of skills that he brings, obviously I mentioned his kicking game, his angled kicking game, for us to get out of it 22 was super in the weekend, and he put that ball through on the ground. I think he's got a bit of a running game. Obviously he takes the ball to the line like he did against Wales and links up with players, and that's another attacking threat that he brings. And defensively we've been really happy with the progress he's made in Connacht in recent times, and now obviously into the national side.
Yeah, okay, it's big news for him, big opportunity. What else was the other key headlines from the team selection, Owen?
Well, Jack Conan was set to play, and he's not going to play now. Somebody stood in his foot in training, so that must have happened just this morning. So Peter O'Mahony does come back in. Bundyaki is out as well, so you obviously have Ringrose and Farrell in midfield. So Peter O'Mahony does come back in. Obviously they passed their HIAs all this week, so it's nothing to do with that. The only real fitness concerns in the long term, it seems to be, is Robbie Henshaw. But you do have to have worries over Johnny Sexton's fitness at this point as well. Ireland's best player is injured in the middle of the World Cup. There's no two ways about it. The severity of the injury may not be that bad, but we'll only see this over the next couple of weeks as to how bad that is. Here is what Joe Schmidt had to say about Jonathan Sexton.
Yeah, not really. Johnny's a guy who plays really well fresh. Johnny can come back in and hit the ground running. And it would be similar, I think Rob Kearney's a little bit like that, Robbie Henshaw's like that, and we've seen that both in Leinster and the national team before. So, I've been involved coaching with Johnny for the last almost 10 years, so it's not something that I would be too concerned about, because he keeps himself in good condition, and we do believe he can come straight back in and hit the ground running. If that's against Russia next Thursday, we always knew we were going to have to manage this start of the tournament because of a 6 and a 5 day turnaround. So whether guys play this week or next week, we do know that the challenge this weekend is going to be particularly tough, but we also know that we've got to show confidence in the squad, because we have that confidence. And I think it's one of the things that in the last World Cup there were some players who didn't play a lot, and then suddenly they were required for the quarterfinal, and maybe they didn't quite have the confidence that we would have liked them to have had. Whereas we've committed in the last few years to making a decision earlier in the week in some positions and saying, look, this is going to be your game. Step up and take ownership.
Yeah, it makes sense when he says it like that, Owen.
Yeah, for sure. And that was the question that was asked there, obviously, was would he be concerned about Jonathan Sexton going in cold? Because even Sexton was saying before the tournament, I remember that he would have liked 2 games in the build-up, that he felt he was fit enough to play that first Wales game, that he wasn't thrown into it. So that could be a question now over the next couple of weeks. But if he's fit for the next 2 games, you might see him feature in the last 2 pool games, just so he's fit and raring to go for the South Africa game. But as Rory O'Connor was saying on the show the other morning, it's you don't want to risk your top players against Samoa. That is a particular game that could cause injuries, really, the way Samoa play rugby. So I would have to wait and see how that progresses. But a great opportunity for Jack Carty. Joe Schmidt clearly loves him.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem in any way concerned about the injuries. He completely seems very happy with the way things are going. There's no sense of, we're a bit undermanned for this. This team's a very strong team.
Yeah, exactly, and that has been the tone all throughout. They've been very, very happy with how the camp has gone. They're pretty you had Robbie Henshaw and that news coming in on the first weekend, but even then they kind of batted it away with in a fairly blasé nature. And Robbie Henshaw looks to be okay now, and he couldn't manage to get his way back for the end of the pool stages or for that South Africa game, you'd imagine, in the World Cup quarter-final. So things are looking okay on the fitness front. It's just the cloud over Jonathan Sexton, and cloud is the wrong word because that's just negativity. It's just a little bit of uncertainty about how quickly he'll be able to get back to starting and playing 80 minutes for Ireland.
Okay, you've been hanging out with an Irish couple who've driven from Connemara to Shizuoka.
Yeah, popped down to Shizuoka City there yesterday afternoon. It's an interesting place. It's right by the seaside. Got lost in a pier yesterday. I keep getting lost. I felt like Frank Sabathia in season 2 of The Wire, getting lost down in the docks. But yeah, met up with this Irish couple from Galway, from Clifton, PJ and Maureen Heffernan. They've driven all the way from Connemara to Yokohama and now are down here in Shizuoka. So that interview with them is coming up a little bit later on.
All right, I'm looking forward to that. You're also heading into the Japanese press conference, proper full-on translation facilities today, I would expect.
Yeah, well, it's going on as I speak at the moment. The Captain Michael Leach has been dropped from the team. That is the big news. He is on the bench this weekend. We've already had Jamie Joseph talk. He was keeping his cards close to his chest and also not wanting to ruffle any feathers. I put it to him about Yusuke Kizu's comments or interpretive comments during the week about the Irish scrum. He said that it was his first press conference as a young man. Ireland are legal sometimes, he says, but he's got great respect for their scrum. Joe Schmidt, meanwhile, this morning was saying that Cian Healy will be using those comments as extra motivation. But so far, not a whole pile of stirring the pot being successful inside this press conference. I should say, both of this morning's press conferences have been extremely well attended, and the Japanese photographers do love a snap. The Irish communications manager had to step out after Schmidt and Besselfish talking and said to them, no more snap photography, probably got all you needed.
All right. With flashes, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and good stuff. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll play that video a little bit later on.